What's more important than the safety and security of your family, your home, or your business? Holland Alarm Company has been protecting our valley for nearly 50 years with burglar and fire protection, video surveillance, personal emergency alert, card access, intercoms, and more. Holland Alarm Company is family owned and operated with local monitoring and no long-term contracts for your convenience, safety, and peace of mind. Meet the pros against cons at hollandalarm.com. hollandalarm.com. They never sleep, so you can.
Dr. Hannah and the staff at Belmont Eye Clinic want to take this opportunity to salute our veterans. The Belmont Eye Clinic is here to serve you with any of your vision needs. 2 convenient locations in Liberty and Canfield. Thank you, veterans, from the Belmont Eye Clinic.
For lunch and special occasions, it's Overture's Restaurant with chef extraordinaire Jeff Crystal, downtown next to the Dior Performing Arts Center.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is your show where we talk about things that are happening in tech, also advocating for the businesses and commerce and people of the city of Youngstown. So we are always championing the cause, keeping everybody involved, and doing what we can to promote and provide the information of what's going on around town. Earlier today, I had the toy show over at the Metroplex, and I do my best that when I see something come across the news, at least try to make an appearance and show my support and let me be counted at the gate. And it was kind of interesting. But the 2 shows that I sort of had on my list was the toy show and then that Comic-Con version that goes down at Cavelli. Still haven't been to that one, but it's really cool that our area attracts these kinds of events, and it was packed. So I really appreciate the fact that when we are called to action to go out there and support the events of our city, that we always do so, and I really appreciate everybody who does that. And please continue to do that. Just this weekend, we sort of had this. We would go out on weekends, and we'd find ourselves regularly in Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and that those entertainment dollars, could be spent here if we would just experiment a little bit and try to figure out how to get the same stuff done downtown. And I'm telling you, you could spend a good deal of time exploring the different venues and events and restaurants and whatever that's downtown. I think we shied away for too many years from go visiting and spending that way, and it is really exciting. So if you haven't done so in a while, maybe one weekend, give it a shot, and maybe when the weather gets a little bit better, nicer, warmer, that you can head down there and see if anybody's down there. Any restaurants that make interest. We've got the Labor Museum. We've got the Butler. We've got events going all the time down at Cavelli. In 1 week, I found myself at standby for 2 separate events. So lots of good stuff that's happening around town. So again, I appreciate it. Last week, I did a little bit of experiment, and I bought a Tesla a couple weeks ago. And I'm putting it through its trials. One of the big questions everybody hits me with is, what if you run out? What if you run out of electricity? And it's a real concern. And so last week I decided to head up to Lake Erie, and it was a 82-mile trip. I went up to Geneva on the Lake and Walnut Beach and whatnot. And there is no charging stations from here. So you have to make sure that you're able to get there and back. So 160 miles. My car, when I charge it at max, will get 270 miles. Now, when it's cold outside, like with your cell phones, the batteries start limiting when you have the cold temperatures. Tesla released all these updates that attempt to keep the battery warm so that you don't lose charge. And where your range would originally be 270 miles, that might shrink down to 200. So, or even more than that. Some people were reporting anywhere to a 40% decrease in the mileage once the temperature got below, 30 degrees. And so that was my big experiment. I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, I drive the thing every day, and I don't really pay attention. I know that when I start the day, it says 220 some, because in these electric cars, you don't charge them up to full maximum capacity. You let them hit the mid-range, you only charge them to 80%, and you don't let them get below 30%, and that gives you, the battery will last forever that way. So when on my daily is charging up to 80%, and then so when I wake up and I get going every day, I have about 220, and when I get home, I usually have 60 or 70. Right, and so since it's enough, I haven't really compared what the odometer said and what the range predicted that I would get for the day. So anyway, I went up to Lake Erie, and I was watching my speed, right, because I was looking at this graph that basically showed the sweet spot where if you punch the gas pedal, obviously just like in a gas powered car, it really deplete your miles per gallon, and in an electric car it's the same thing. It really that thing drops precipitously when you punch the gas. But another thing is that if you go above 75 miles an hour, it also drops quite a bit. So I kind of looked at the graph and I saw that that between 65 and 70 miles an hour was the sweet spot where you got the biggest furthest distance for the speed. And so going up 11, it's 70 miles an hour. So typically I'm a guy that keeps it below 10 miles over the speed limit. So usually I would be going about I'd hit cruise and set it at about 77. That's about the right speed for me. But I didn't want to do that on this trip because I was already contending with the temperature. I didn't want to push my limits and push too far. So I set the cruise control at the speed limit the entire way. 680, speed limit. 7-Eleven connector, speed limit. Route 11, speed limit. The whole way I did the speed limit. And I'll tell you, within the whole trip from there and back, I wrote it down on a sheet of paper what I thought I was going to get based on that little range curve. And I was within 4 miles of the range. I got 4 miles less than was predicted when I left, which was, I think it was 260, maybe 270 when I left. And so I said I was going to get home and there was going to be, 60 or something like that. But anyway, so within 4 miles, that was pretty good at the speed limit. Now, because I'm not used to driving exactly at the speed limit. I was that guy in the right-hand lane where everybody's zooming past me, and I'm like, wow, that's me on a regular day. Hey, that's me on a regular day. It was kind of interesting to be on that side of it. It gets a little scary at the speed limit. So what I started doing is, since I was driving at traveling an hour, I started thinking about, what if I were to do that regularly? What if I would slow down to the speed limit? How much time am I really saving by that 7 miles per hour? Right? So I did some speed calculations, and I'm going to share those with you so that as you're driving around, maybe doing a little bit over the speed limit, see if the extra speed. Now, I've always been told, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, it could be an urban legend for all I know, that when they're clocking and they're hitting you with radar and laser, that as long as you're not over 10 miles over the speed limit, they'll let you go. They consider that within the tolerances, the calibration of the guns. They consider that within that's sort of their tolerance. They won't come after you after 10. And I was told this by a state trooper, and this was back in the 90s. I was on my way to Columbus. I got pulled over. I was going 15 over the speed limit. He said, "Hey, keep it below 10." So I've always checked that out, and I really don't get speeding tickets when I follow that advice. So anyway, so I looked at did these speed calculations. So if you're taking a 20-mile trip and you go 73 miles per hour, okay, it's taking you 16 minutes and 26 seconds. Now, if you take that same 20-mile trip and you go exactly 65 miles per hour, it takes 8 minutes and 28. So it's 2 minutes longer on a 20-mile trip. And I use 20 miles because that's sort of the average that people, when they're commuting to work, 20 miles seems to be the average commute to work. So if you're on your way to work and you are 5 minutes late, probably shouldn't, even if you speed, you're not going to make up 5 minutes in a 20-mile stretch. You just can't go fast enough to offset that speed. So if you just, if you know that it's only 2 minutes, you're going to be plus or minus, maybe the speed limit, again, I'm just making you consider it. I'm not suggesting that you do anything other than just sharing raw data because I was interested in it, being I was, traveled at 70 miles an hour and it was so foreign to me. Okay, so on a 4-mile trip, 35 miles an hour, and this is the local commute, taking your kids to school or whatever. So a 4-mile trip at 35 miles an hour takes 6 minutes and 51 seconds. And a 4-mile trip at 44 miles an hour, 9 miles over the speed limit, takes 5 minutes and 27 seconds. So we're looking at about a minute and a half difference to go the speed limit when it's a short 4-mile trip around town. Again, a minute and a half, that's, negligible in my, considering. So the trip that I took, 82 miles, I went 70 miles per hour. It took an hour and 1 hour, 10 minutes, 17 seconds. If I would have went 77 miles an hour, it would have been 1 hour, 3 minutes, 54 seconds. So that's about a 6-minute difference between the two speeds, adding 7 down. Now, the next thing I consider is like, okay, well, it's only 2 minutes, and in the grand scheme of things, over an hour trip, 6 minutes, you'd probably waste that extra stopping at a rest stop anyway. So again, that could probably be absorbed in the trip. But then I thought, what about anxiety? What does anxiety do to you when you're speeding and you see a cop and you slam on your brakes and you're worrying about getting a speeding ticket? So I looked up. What stresses and anxiety does to lifespan. Okay, how many minutes are knocked off your life when you are stressed out and worried, right? And so I had to look at a couple different studies, and I'm telling you, this was hard information to find. It's not like, you would think that we'd have a pretty good grip on how, stress affects people's well-being, but in this case, the data that I was able to calculate says for every 15 minutes that you're in stress, it has the potential to knock 5.76 minutes per day off of your life. So on my little trip here, that if you're in a 15-minute stint and you're speeding and you're stressed the whole time, you could actually knock more minutes off of your life than you could save by going that extra speed. So there's your tolerances. If you save more than 5 minutes, you could die a little bit sooner and make up the difference. But anyway, raw data, this is the cool stuff that we do. The math is available, people. All right. We got... Let's see if I have enough time to take this call. Absolutely. All right, let's go to Gil first. The phone number, 330-729-9977. Let's go to Gil. Gil, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yes, good afternoon, sir. I'm looking to upgrade an old iPad that I have. I have an old iPad 2 that I got way back in 2011 from your early afternoon host as a gift.
Oh, okay.
And I'm looking to replace that because it won't even accept the new operating system. I'm way back on, I think, operating 9 on the old iPad. Anyway, what I'm looking at, I want to get your advice and counsel. I'm looking at either an Asus Chromebook Flip or to go ahead and spring for an iPad Pro. And I can't really see any reason not to go with the Asus Chromebook Flip. I'm hoping you can tell me why not.
And cost-wise, it's probably, what, a third?
Actually, it's $475 for the Chromebook and $1,400 for the iPad Pro.
Okay. Now, I've been fascinated with the iPad Pro, and I have not bought one because I just can't justify it. It doesn't do enough to justify that cost for me. So what does the iPad Pro represent to you? What do you think you can do with it that maybe the Chromebook's not going to be able to do?
Nothing. I'm just trying to, in my own mind, decide to not go there because I'm getting to be rather at least neutral, maybe even anti-Apple anyhow, just on social issues and such. But the Chromebook is very fascinating to me, and I looked up a couple sources, common sources of PC Mag and another source to see how they're listing the Chromebooks, and the Asus goes right up there along with the Acers. So I'm wondering if you have a preference or perhaps you have an idea on that, but then also I have a second question once you deal with that.
Sure. So I have a Chromebook, and it's such a good web computer. And so for our elder population here that just needs to get on the web, anything that you can do through the Chrome browser can be done through a Chromebook. So a lot of people can get away with it. It's less complicated. It doesn't have the problems that the full-blown operating systems do. If you can do spreadsheets on Google Drive and stuff like that. So you're really not limited if that's what you're doing. And most of us are, 90% of it. And then, again, the cost is such a big advantage. So I probably, that little Chromebook that only cost me maybe $250. Mine isn't the touchscreen version or the one that you got, but it's, it'll probably last me twice as long as the regular desktop. So I'm a big fan of Chromebook if your needs don't exceed what it's capable of doing.
Well, my main need then would be to access, I guess, through the web, just word processing.
That's it. It'll do it just great.
Okay. Then the second question I have, if I may,
sure,
is to run that in the house, roughly a 3,000 square foot house. I have an old, equally old router that does pretty well, but it just doesn't have much of an oomph in the signal. Now, I don't know if that's from the router per se, or if that's from the standard I have from Armstrong.
Yeah, and every 5 years is what I recommend going through and purchasing a new router. The standards constantly increase, and the routers did just kind of burn out a little bit, and it's worthy of every 5 years contemplating it. I just recently purchased those the Google Wi-Fi. You plug one of the little pods in like it's a router, and then the other two communicate with the main one, and it has done a fantastic job in covering my whole house. So I would at least look at something mesh.
So you have the one hooked into the main cable and then two distributed through the home, so you have pretty good coverage throughout. That's
it. All right, thanks for the phone call, Gil. Appreciate it. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and take some more of your phone calls. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Hi everybody, Carl Clay, President of the Youngstown Dart Association, here to talk to you about the 31st Annual Youngstown Dart Frank Perico Memorial Charity Open, Friday, February 8th through Sunday, February 10th. We're at a new location at Doubletree downtown. We also have a new charity this year, the Autism Society of Mahoning Valley. Questions, you can call me, Carl Clay, 330-623-1048, or you can visit our website, youngstowndart.org, for any information on the sponsorship of the boards.
At Land Pro, we're pros at finding your perfect fit. Right now, you can get a John Deere 1023E subcompact utility tractor with AutoConnect drive-over mower deck and 120R loader for only $159 per month. Land Pro equipment has the attachments you need for every season and at a price you can afford. Stop by your nearest Land Pro equipment location or request a quote at landproequipment.com. Offer ends 4/30/19, subject to credit, approved installment credit with John Deere Financial for commercial use only. Up to 10% down payment may be required. Taxes not included. See your local Land Pro equipment dealer for details.
Save 11% on everything at Menards. It's the perfect time for a kitchen update. Explore the beautiful cabinets on display and find the style that's right for your home, knowing you can save 11% on all of it. Complement your cabinets with Riverstone Quartz countertop. Complete the project with a perfect faucet, backsplash, and floor. And save 11% on everything now at Menards. Good through February 9th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
This is Bolt Construction Vice President Todd Miller. If you're ready to be a part of a company that's building for tomorrow, call Bolt now. An equal opportunity employer at 330-549-0349.
No one should feel unsafe in your home, period. Now, fear has no place in a place like home. It's that simple. Well, that's been Simply Safe's mission from day one. Now, you may have seen their commercial about it during the big game this year. Now, that's why Simply Safe was designed to blanket your entire home with protection. That means around-the-clock professional monitoring, making sure police are on the way if and when you may need them. The system is completely wireless. You can install it in under an hour, and Simply Safe security sensors, they're tiny, blending in with your home so you won't even notice them. Now, The Verge calls Simply Safe the best home security, and it's Wirecutter's top pick. Simply Safe now has millions of Americans that they are protecting, and you know what? It feels good to fear less. Protect your home and family today and get 10% off because you listen to this program. Also, free shipping on any system order. Just go to simplysafehannity.com to get started. That website, simplysafehannity.com. 10% off your security system at simplysafehannity.com.
Fairway Ford in Canfield has a giant selection and huge discounts on cars and SUVs. And right now we're blowing out the leftover 2018s. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We're talking about things that are happening in tech. We just got off the phone with a caller. I wasn't quite finished with that, but let me tell you a little bit more. Continuing that advice. So, Gil, I hope you're still out there. So basically, the second part of your question was, as far as routing goes, good coverage on your home. The reason I picked out the Google Wi-Fi and those pods is because they, you really only have to worry about having one of the devices wired through, and the rest of them find each other using wireless signals, and so that you don't have to worry about running wiring throughout your house. I have some spots in my house I just can't get a cable up through, and it was weakness, because one of them was back where the office was, so I always had like really fringe I had like really fringe internet in the office, and that was not a great thing. So what I did was I got the Wi-Fi, put the cable comes in my basement. That's the one that plugs in the modem to the I'm going to consider it a router because it has an input for a WAN WAN connection. And then, like I said, then it rolls out the connection to the other two pods, and it extends coverage to wherever you put the pod. So I have one in the basement, one on the first floor, and then one on the furthest distance on the first floor, which gives me complete coverage. Now, if you have the ability to wire everything in, wired is always going to be preferred. So if you're good with Cat 5 or you have Cat 5 that's already run through your house, then that's the direction that I would go. We like the brand Unify, and it's made by Ubiquiti, and it's also mesh wireless. A little bit more difficult, I would say, like from a beginner versus Black Diamond kind of a thing. The Google Wi-Fi, anybody could. It was plug in, and there was really no configuration. There's really nothing to do. On the Ubiquiti, you have to put some software on one of the computers and create your configuration on one of those computers and then roll the configuration out to the devices. So there's a little bit more to it. Now, you can do more with it. With that responsibility comes ability, right? So you're able to plug in your settings and you can get these things to dance. So there are even, we have a couple of bars, restaurants around here that wanted to extend Wi-Fi to their customers, and we used Ubiquiti equipment to be able to do that because literally you can do on a regular workstation. You install this configuration software, and you can do advanced routing. So your computer will act as a router and control the devices as they were like dumb terminals. So again, those are our two recommendations. If you're doing one standalone router, the Netgear Nighthawk has been pretty full functional, pretty easy to plug in, and a good performer. It's got good range. And then if you want mesh wireless, if you have wiring, go to Ubiquiti Unify route. And if you don't, give Google Wi-Fi a shot. So, Gil, thanks for the phone call. Appreciated that. I'm sorry I didn't really get to go into the full depth of everything. And those of you who did listen last week, or the last time that we were on with Morris Ray, he's going to be joining us in the second hour. He had, and I'll save the story for when he's actually here, but he had a little run-in with a scammer. And so we're going to kind of tell the story, and he can kind of share the after and how he's cleaned everything up and fixed everything and whatnot. And we'll be able to get a little bit more in depth. Those of you who are out there on the stream, if you've noticed that our interface has changed a little bit, I put some time in this morning to put some graphics together. I wanted to add in a component for chat over the next couple weeks. So today I'll be playing with the left-hand side of the screen. We'll have a little chat thing. So as people are posting, we broadcast to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, I think one other one, and all of those, as people comment, will be going through on the chat screen, so I can engage and get to the comments a little bit easier. I find sometimes that when we're doing the show, somebody comments over on Facebook, and if I'm not super paying attention to it, I don't get the comment until after the show, and by that time it's too late. So this will give me good access to be able to see the things as they're happening, and give me the ability to do better programming here. As always, you can text us at 330-333-1570 all program long, and I will be paying attention to that and reading your comments, suggestions, and whatnot. And I'll tell you, I was out today, and there are cars everywhere. It is a busy day. So commerce has happened here in good old Boardman, at least on this side of the turnpike. All right, so stay tuned there. If you want to get on the lines, 330-729-9977. We're going to take this break, come back, take some more of your phone calls. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Dan Rivers here with another great offer. Are you a recent retiree or older adult looking for a vibrant senior community? You're going to feel right at home at Copeland Oaks. Residents can relax and enjoy life in any of the living options. The continuum of care ensures that residents are comfortable, safe, and cared for, no matter how their needs change or evolve throughout retirement. Commit to an independent apartment by March 31st and receive 1 month free. Call for your personal tour, 330-938-6126, or search CopelandOaks.com.
Here's what's happening in the valley. The State Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of a crash that killed 2 people early this morning on I-80 westbound near the Braceville-Robinson Bridge. 2 vehicles were involved in the crash. The incident happened just before 2 a.m. this morning. Alcohol is believed to be a factor. One person is dead after a car crashed into the Corral Drive-In on Route 18 in Hermitage last night. Police have not released any names. They say the vehicle veered off the road and hit the shop. Youngstown police are looking for a man they say is responsible for shooting a woman several times on the west side of Youngstown early yesterday morning. 29-year-old Kyle Rice is wanted on a warrant for attempted murder. The incident happened at about 1 a.m. on Oregon Avenue Friday morning. Police are not releasing the name of the victim. WRTA is offering free rides on Valentine's Day. The free rides are on all fixed routes as part of Ohio's celebration of public transportation. The Ohio Public Transit Association has designated February 14th as Ohio Loves Transit Day. Officials at the Newton Falls Water Plant are asking residents at this time to conserve water. The request was issued this morning due to technical issues at the plant. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2.
Don't be left out in the cold this winter. Call Mazza Heating in Girard, your factory authorized Bryant dealer.
Temperatures will only climb to the mid-20s this afternoon. Temperatures will drop back into the mid-teens again tonight. Mainly clear skies expected. Some sunshine to start the day on Sunday, but clouds will increase through the day and snow arrives late day. Highs will climb to the mid-30s. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm Alex George.
What if the kid who cut your grass worked like most financial advisors? Instead of a straight-up $20, you'd get some confusing bill with surcharges and add-ons. What the heck is a blade height adjustment fee? Creative planning is different. Our fiduciary advisors work off one transparent fee structure, and we never receive commissions on your investments. Dial 866-440-1006 for a free, no-obligation consultation with Creative Planning. Investment strategies recommended by Creative Planning are not assured of earning a profit or avoiding a loss in declining markets.
Hi, folks. Steve Bott from Mark Thomas Ford. Help us kick off 2019 with great deals like these. Tell them, Davey.
Hi, folks. Davey Jones from Mark Thomas Ford. Lease a new Ford EcoSport for $175 per month and a new Ford F-150 for $225 a month for returning F-150 customers.
Don't forget the Mark Thomas Promise biggest discounts, highest trade allowance, best interest rates, and lowest payments.
Come see how low we can go.
We're 2 miles north of Route 82 bypass on Elm Road in Cortland, Ohio.
Check us out on the web at markthomasford.com.
See dealer for complete details.
Let me ask you a question. How confident are you in your investments? Why not build confidence and wealth with VectorVest? VectorVest will tell you what to buy, and when to sell, and has been doing it for over 30 years. It's the fastest, smartest, easiest stock investing system in America. Try it for 30 days by entering promo code RADIO at VectorVest.com and get free training and support, all for just 99 cents. That's promo code RADIO at VectorVest.com for this limited time offer.
Quiet, comfort, and affordability. The most important things when choosing a place to live. Westchester Square Apartments offers something to fit every need and budget. 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and studio apartments. They rent apartments, but they sell convenience. You can find luxury living at Westchester Executive Apartments, 1,200 square feet of upscale living with carports, or independent senior living at Westchester Commons, strategically located in the center of Austintown, right next to Route 11. For the perfect apartment, call 330-799-5758. Come and be a good neighbor in a community of good neighbors. Westchester Square Apartments, Austintown.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, fatter? We need to bring the men of this country back to greatness. And it's easier than ever with Ageless Male Max, a patent-pending formula with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone, promoting greater increases in muscle size and twice the reduction of body fat percentage than exercise alone. Plus, an amazing 64% increase in nitric oxide, which can be handy in the gym and in the bedroom. Take your manhood to the max by trying your first 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. Not 10 days, not 15 days, but a full 30-day supply free when you text the word FEAR to 797979. Finally, a formula that boosts total testosterone. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. For your free bottle, text FEAR to 797979. Text FEAR to 797979.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charlie's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charlie's, January.
The shutdown.
WKBN.
Brexit. State of the Union.
Roger Stone.
BuzzFeed. Venezuela.
Medicare for all.
I'm Cory Booker.
To be president.
February.
Below zero temperatures.
Happens here.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. Welcome, everybody that's listening out there on terrestrial, over here on 570 WKBN, on iHeartRadio, on Facebook, on YouTube, and everywhere else that you're joining us here on the program today. I want to welcome you into the fray. The reason that we do this show is that we try to allow all the novices and also the seasoned vets to talk about what it is that we do in this industry and let you overhear the conversations. And through that sort of context and osmosis, you kind of pick up on what goes on in this field. And it takes a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily sit through a class to be able to pick this up. A little intimidating to get around people who know more than you do. So you have two choices, either to say, screw this, I'm not doing this whole tech thing, or you got to have a safe place to be able to get enough exposure to it that you gain some confidence. Because really, in this game, it's about playing. It's about jumping in, and just like you were when you were a 10-year-old, that you get to start sifting through what you like, what you don't like, and not be terrified that you're going to break something or ruin something. And most of the the software and hardware, we still have the luxury of this industry of this stuff being wide open, completely configurable. Your imagination can let loose, and because it gets so complicated so fast, a lot of us kind of shy away from that kind of stuff. So this show was invented. We talk about it. We answer questions. We try to get you a little bit of confidence, give you a little bit of courage to go and start tinkering in this stuff. And we've been here doing this for 10 years. So there's not like we're going to get you started and then bail on you. We're going to be around for as long as you need us to. And so I invite you to listen to the show and watch it here out on the web and pay attention to what it is that we talk about. We vary our conversations because not troubleshooting and stuff like that. You're never going to be able to take the modules all the way through, be an advanced user of Windows 10 based on a radio show, right? But this gives you a sampling of all of the different parts of technology and parts of business, how it applies to what we're used to seeing out in the field. So through that exposure, we give you a non-intimidating place to start talking about it, and we have a lot of fun. It's one of we've done this for a number of years, and I'm telling you, it's a joy to be able to do and share some of the experiences and knowledge with other people, and inspire them to get their hands dirty a little bit on a Saturday afternoon. So I want to welcome everybody. 330-729-9977. And I did want to share this with you. During this hour, we were going to speak with a couple of the ladies from the YMCA Davis Center. And if you listened to the program last weekend on the Joe Show, we're planning and we're contemplating here is we're putting together some kids programming, and we're going to partner. We hope to partner with what the YMCA is doing. We kind of noticed that they had already have a really good head start with their Families Night Out programs. And so when, let's just say you're going out to dinner downtown for an event downtown and you want to drop your kids off at the YMCA, they will have, projects planned and keep activities to keep your kids busy while you go out and about. And so our deal was we wanted to do the same thing. So we're this proponents of downtown, and we want parents and whatever to go to, the events that are downtown. And so we figured, if you've got kids, and that might be a reason that's keeping you from going downtown, Joe's going to put together some programs that are challenging for that group. See, I'm not a real big fan of warehousing kids, right? And sometimes when you give, a couple dollars to a babysitter to watch your kids, they watch TV, play some games, and, there's not much that it's not an event for them. So you get to go off and enjoy yourself, and your kids are being, stacked on a shelf and just getting, wasting a couple hours. So my programming is this. So think of an escape room. If those of you who've never done an escape room, what it is a bunch of puzzles and challenges. They stick you in a room, lock the door, and then you have to figure out an end to the escape room, and then you conquer it. You win. You get to leave. And the challenges sometimes are very difficult, where you have to assemble lots of clues. And but they're fun because of that challenge, where you get a group of sometimes total strangers that are all in the same room, don't know one another, and you've got to create cooperation between people who don't know each other to be able to solve puzzles. And that's the most dynamic thing of this whole thing, is to watch people who don't know each other put their brains together and try to solve big problems. So I know that kids will be way better at this than adults are, because adults have reservations that kids don't. Kids jump in and they just do. And so I cannot wait to see how this stuff unfolds. We have an educator on staff, Carla McCandless. She's one of our key people at Youngstown Computer. And anytime we need sort of like that educational filter when we develop these things to be able to, hit the kids on that level, she's our expert that helps us put that together. So I'm putting puzzles together and putting it through the Carla filter to really make these things dynamic. And I don't want, I want when parents come and pick up their kids after the 4 hours that they're there, and they're ecstatic because they beat the puzzle or they won the game or whatever. I want the kids' experience during that 4 hours to rival whatever the parents did downtown, be it gone to a show or restaurant or whatever. So that's my goal. And still, we're going to talk to we're going to talk to the ladies from Davis Center, and we're also talking at the same time to the people down at the downtown YMCA, and maybe we'll do some some hands off where we'll do something in addition to what they're doing or supplement some of their programs. But again, we're going to brainstorm when we're able to bring them in on our next program. So that's coming up, and I did want to talk about that for a while because I mean it's what's missing in this area, and I've noticed it from day one that I started doing business here, is the level of cooperation that we always have been missing. And let me tell you a story. So when I first got started, when it comes to business, you can do a lot of things in your wheelhouse, and there's going to be like maybe 20% of what you do that you are the best at. You are the expert at. You hope everybody that knocks down your door asks you for what you are absolutely best at. Then you have some fringe stuff where you're pretty good at this. You're probably better than most people, but it's not your preference, and maybe there are people better there. And as this pyramid goes out, there's more and more things where you technically can do, but there are probably people better than you at doing it. So our philosophy has always been is let's go out, if you come to me and say, hey, I got all this tech problems and I need you to help, some of them we're going to be able to field ourselves, and then some of them we're just going to help you find someone that can do it better than we can. And so when we would attempt this, we would go to other companies and say, hey, this is a customer, came to me, and they're dealing with me, and I'd really appreciate. I want to pay you for your services. I want to hand this off to you. So in this case, the story was that there was app development. So we had a guy on staff that could put some pretty good app programming together. Wasn't our specialty. We're in the field services thing, but I went to a local programmer and a company that did this for a living. This was their main deal, and I heard about them all the time. They did a really good job. I couldn't wait to put some work in their lap. And I said, okay, so this is my customer. I deal with them 99% of the time. I'd like you to do this work, but do it as a contractor under my banner, right? And so I'm going to sit you down with them, and I'm going to say, this is, contractor with Youngstown Computer, and they're going to tell you the specs on what they want. They're going to give you the explanation. And then once that meeting happens, I'll just turn it over to you. The thing I request is that you act under my banner, right? And so it wasn't 30 seconds into this meeting that the dude pulled out his business card for his company and handed it directly to the customer. And I cocked my head and I thought, this is why... This is why that cooperation isn't able to happen, because everybody is so eager for their part. They can't extend themselves and risk the fact that they go do work and they don't know their company name. But they broke the agreement in like 30 seconds. So I could just imagine that this probably happens every day, where people step over the line. They're not playing from that ethical and moral playbook, and whether it be because it's just so competitive in this industry. Every customer is so valuable that when you have a potential one in front of you, it doesn't matter that you agreed not to do something, but that is valued more than operating anyway. But the thing is, I'm meeting people now in the marketplace that are really eager to give up some interest or give up some opportunity in the name of cooperation. And what I love about that is that there are more possibilities when you have companies, especially in the tech industry, that are willing to not just go off and all do their own thing, but to find, better people at this, knowing that I'm going to exchange work with you and you're going to exchange work with me. And that's always pictured this, where if you fear giving work to a web development company because they're going to try to poach your customer, right, you play defensive ball. And when you play defensive ball, that's when it's really hard to cooperate with other people in that industry. And that's why I see time and time again is that it gets ultra competitive, and then the gentlemen's agreements go out through the door super quick, and it makes all of us be like, okay, well, every company is going to try to be good at everything, which nobody can, right? And then the community suffers, and the marketplace suffers because of it. But we're going to pull all of that. And I had a meeting yesterday with someone and we were talking about hybridization between the marketing field and the tech field. And there's some companies that have been being able to bridge a gap that don't even really sound like they're even in the same ballpark. But as you dig through the conversation, these overlaps are getting so sophisticated. And IT is sort of the spokes that touch all of the different things. So, I mean, you might find that contractors or healthcare or all these other marketplaces eventually have to tie in to something in IT, because it's never going to be, or I should say, it's not going to be in the short term where this stuff's going to come together on its own. You're always going to need somebody who specializes in this part of the field. And the more of these cooperations we get together and put together, I think as the Youngstown marketplace, we're able to grow, we're able to scale more, because you don't have everybody inventing the same frickin' wheel and never sharing opportunities, advice, and personnel. And another opportunity that opened up through that is that the labor field in Youngstown, I hate when our best educated leave this area. And so we were talking about, even cooperating on the skill sets. So we have, people who have a creative mind in design, where as a computer service company, man, I can't use a creative person except for maybe putting a couple web pages together, maybe doing some artwork for our marketing. But a marketing company needs creative people all day. So I want to open up and start collecting resumes for some creative people. I have a feeling we're going to need probably 4 or 5 creative-minded people that we're going to need to hire before too much longer. And so if you'd like to send resumes, please load me up. If someone, if someone has a creative bent and they're looking for someone to use their expertise, this cooperative group that's coming together, it opens up possibilities where, I don't know if it's valuable, but you could be working for multiple companies, doing work for multiple companies. And I know the excitement of doing that is that you're not, you don't get slammed at a desk behind a computer and churn out work all day long, that kind of a thing. So load me up with some resumes, technical-minded, creative-minded, and then we're going to sort through these. And we've got enough enterprises going that we're going to be able to place some talent and maybe, employ personally and find places for a lot of good people. And what's nice about it is these people that I'm talking to, we're not looking lowest common denominator. We're not looking for the lowest paid personnel. We are looking for top tier, best of the best, and retaining them so they don't leave this area. So please, if you've got someone with a killer skill set and want to be on sort of this, and there's more, I don't know, there's more passion that can be behind this when you believe in something like this and you're employing someone for this reason. I'm telling you, it's such an easier thing to sell. And so if you'll send those over, joe@youngstowncomputer.com, send me those emails, attach your resume for it. I'm going to be heading out to Facebook and ZipRecruiter and do the state, the state website to try to collect some resumes. We're going to go into a big hiring binge. So my guess is probably 5. I was feeling like 2 this year I was going to get to hire. It sounds like more like 5 we're going to get to hire. And these are, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 a year jobs. So, please send me those resumes, joe@youngstowncomputer.com. And we're going to get to some interviewing. The interviews will sort of be a qualifying call first, and then a sit down with myself and another guy from that other company. And like I said, I know enough companies that are constantly complaining that finding good people to hire is the hardest thing in their day. They just could not get people employed. And I've always felt that this should have been a problem that got solved a long time ago. Labor should not be the hardest thing in our job in our day. We've got the technology to take any skill set, right? And if you're good, I think you should be sought after. And I think the best people should be in demand. And it shouldn't be something that an employer who wants to find somebody struggles to be able to find somebody. I don't know. It's just, I think it's backwards, and I think that technology solves this problem. I hope they have like an Uber for employment eventually. Maybe we'll create it. Maybe that's what we need. Is we need a better way of taking everybody, like the what's that realtor site that lists every house and all the realtors use a central location. That's what we need for people, and have the the people, what they're willing to work for, and have a "come find me" button on it, right? Because I could make an offer on a house that isn't even for sale right now because of this website, right? So everything is always up for, up for availability. Well, anyway, I'm just sort of vomiting out loud here on this stuff. So I hope you will send me your information, and if you even know someone who also. You either, and you don't even necessarily have to be unhappy with the job that you're doing. That maybe you're sitting in a job that you settled with, and you want to get into something like design, animation, making commercials, doing movies, 3D animation, that kind of stuff. If that stuff interests you, as well as engineering in the networking field, making computer networks running faster and solving problems with software, send me your resume. And that is joe@youngstowncomputer.com. All right, we're going to take a break. We will come back, take some more of your phone calls. Want to say hi to everybody out there on the web. Welcome. I hope you guys are enjoying the new stream. So 330-729-9977. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Does your home need new replacement windows? Valley homeowners trust Window Depot of Youngstown for their replacement window needs. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and an A rating on Angie's List, now for a special message from the owner, Rich Bagala.
To the hundreds of local families who have trusted us to remodel their home, we say thank you. Hey, it's Rich from Window Depot Youngstown. We're proud to be a local company, and did you know that our windows are produced right here in the Valley? Stay tuned to hear about our current special offers.
It's Window Depot's 60-60-60 sale. Save 60% on installation of new windows. Payments as low as $60 a month. And call 1-800-433-8577 during this program. That's 1-800-433-8577 for a free $60 restaurant.com gift card with your free in-home estimate. Call 1-800-433-8577. 1-800-433-8577. That's 1-800-433-8577. Call now.
Hi, this is Eric Clark at Fairway Ford in Canfield. You know that Fairway Ford is the largest F-150 dealer in the entire region, but did you know that Fairway Ford is also known for our giant selection and discounts on cars and SUVs? Well, right now we're blowing out the leftover 18s. Save like never before on Ford Escape, Explorer, EcoSport, and even Expedition. Our inventory is huge and our prices are small. FairwayFordOhio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Hi, Dan Rivers here, urging you to trust your hearing to the place I trust my hearing. Hearing Innovations proudly welcomes to their team Carrie Boyd, Master of Audiology. Carrie's been practicing audiology in the Boardman area for more than 20 years. If you've been working with audiologist Carrie Boyd, her new home is Hearing Innovations. And by the way, Hearing Innovations offers a program unique to the Youngstown area. You only pay for the device and the ancillary services you need, saving you a great deal of money with startup. Hearing Innovations, Southbridge in Boardman and Liberty, nearly across from Station Square. Call for your appointment and trust your hearing where I trust mine. Hearing Innovations and the new home of audiologist Carrie Boyd. Hearing Innovations, Southbridge in Boardman, and next to Station Square in Liberty. Audiology expertise, comprehensive care, Hearing Innovations. They listen so you can hear. Call today, 277-4380, or online, hearinginnovations.com.
The unemployment rate is at a 48-year low. Most people that want to work are working. If you're trying to fill open positions at your business, you'll have to find your next candidate from the currently employed. iHeartMedia can help you spread the word to 93% of the U.S. population. That's right, 93%. Use this radio station to find your next employee driving to or sitting at their current job. You'll have your pick of the most qualified candidates for any position you have available. We can help. Go to iHeartWorks.com. That's iHeartWorks.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Burgundy.
Check. Is this on?
Episode 1 of the Ron Burgundy podcast is available to download or play right now on iHeartRadio.
I want to be upfront with you. We're going to make some mistakes along the way.
Open the free iHeartRadio app and listen or download for later.
We can edit that out, right?
Lots of hard-hitting questions.
If a woman dumps you, can you have her arrested?
And lots of laughs. The Ron Burgundy Podcast. Listen to episode 1 right now. Your music, your stations, your podcasts. Always free. iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is your show where we talk about things here that are happening in the tech world. Had some questions come in or some comments. Let me go ahead and get those out of the way. This from text messaging. If a malicious link is clicked from a spoofed email, should the Windows 10 PC be reset as a precaution? Windows Defender and MRT tool did not find anything. Okay, so most of those spoofing emails that even after a click, Microsoft has been doing a really good job at keeping up with the security patches that don't make them immune to it, but it really makes it a little bit more difficult for those things to take effect. They're really keying in on the Windows 10 or Windows 7 that have not been patched or not been updated. So a lot of those, if you click on it, didn't do anything, and you don't see any repercussions, then you're most of the time okay. You run your antiviruses, run a couple of malware scans, do your due diligence on just making sure. Now, the only guidance that I can give you is that sometimes the way they're doing this is those clicks are putting something on the hard drive that they can use later. Doesn't trigger a virus response or a malware response. It kind of just sits on the hard drive. And then later on down the road, they can call on that file that's sitting there and make a pop-up happen or something like that. And then, it may then be a little bit more legitimate. But just be careful. And a lot of times, like I said, if it doesn't hit you and you don't see the encryption and there isn't a bunch of new software that shows up and you don't get pop-ups and whatnot, usually that's okay. I wouldn't suggest going and doing a reset. What I would do, though, is just in case, do some extra backups because you might be a little bit more vulnerable and you might not know until some time passes whether or not you are. But go overboard on many different antivirus products. Get a bunch of free ones, do Avast, do Malwarebytes, do anyone that you can come across that's free, run it, and then use your paid ones, obviously, and until you're sure. And I said you can't be 100% sure, but a lot of those spoof messages are keying in on someone who doesn't do a lot of those updates. And so if that's you, then absolutely. Okay, and a text message. This is from Paul. And Paul said, iPad versus Chromebook, don't undersell the Chromebook. A very large development-heavy, high-client count enterprises are going with Chromebook. So, and now I kind of gave the acid test where if you can get stuff to work through Google Chrome as a retail user or an end user, then typically a Chromebook will work out for you. Now, there are, and so for those who are shopping to use these in higher capacities, I'm not limiting them. As Paul said, that they do have some capabilities that in an enterprise system that is still very, very good operating system to work with. So I didn't thank you for Paul for the suggestion here and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to take anything from Chromebook. I'm a big fan of it, and I think that it has a really big place in this marketplace. All right, when we come back, we're going to go with Morris Ray. We're going to have sit down with him and talk about some stuff that he's been dealing with lately. More texts and calls from you, 330-729-9977, or you can text me at 333-1570. I'm monitoring the chat that's going on social media as well, so I have a couple questions from Fred, and stay tuned out there. We're going to come back right after these messages. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We're right back.
Did you know that there is a new victim of identity theft every 2 seconds? It means a criminal could be spending your money, applying for loans in your name, and even damaging your good credit, all without you even knowing. It's a good thing there's LifeLock identity theft protection. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect and alert you to a wide range of identity threats, like your social security number for sale on the dark web. And if you do have an issue involving identity theft, one of LifeLock's identity restoration specialists is going to work with you to fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but with LifeLock, you get identity theft protection and additional features to help protect your devices against cyber threats for as low as $9.99 a month. Go to LifeLock.com or call 800-440-4833. Use the promo code RUSH for 10% off your first year. It's LifeLock.com. And don't forget the name RUSH as the promo code for 10% off your first year.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Supporters of Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren cheering on a frigid morning in Lawrence, Massachusetts, where she announced her bid for the White House. She laid out a platform of social and economic equality.
The middle class squeeze is real, and millions of families can barely breathe. It is not right.
Ahead of the announcement, President Trump's re-election campaign released a statement calling her a fraud, citing past controversies over her claims of Native American heritage. There's controversy in several levels of the government in Virginia, where Governor Ralph Northam has resisted calls to resign over a racist photo from his medical school yearbook page. He says he's not in the photo. Also, Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax being told to resign after a second woman's accused him of sexual assault. A fellow Democratic lawmaker in the state, Patrick Hope, says he will drop articles of impeachment if Fairfax does not step aside.
My sincere hope is that this will not be necessary, and the Lieutenant Governor will heed the calls of many to resign this weekend. If he does not, we will move forward on Monday.
He's denied both allegations. The publisher of the National Enquirer says it acted lawfully dealing with Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. He alleged extortion and blackmail, and ABC's Lana Zach says federal prosecutors are now taking a look.
Prosecutors in the Southern District of New York are now reviewing whether these actions, if true, violated an immunity agreement related to another high-profile case involving the president's former attorney, Michael Cohen. That deal requires AMI to commit no crimes whatsoever for 3 years, and if that agreement is broken, AMI could be charged with campaign finance crimes.
Buckingham Palace says the 97-year-old Duke of Edinburgh has voluntarily given up his driver's license. He was involved in a car crash last month. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. Police are looking for a man they say is responsible for shooting a woman several times on the west side of Youngstown early yesterday morning. 29-year-old Kyle Rice is wanted on a warrant for attempted murder. The incident happened about 1 a.m. early Friday morning on Oregon Avenue. Police are not releasing the name of the victim. 27 First News says all 8 suspects in the Crystal Hernandez murder have been indicted. She's the young mother killed last month in Youngstown in her apartment while holding her 2-year-old son. 6 of the suspects are directly charged with the shooting death. 2 others, including her boyfriend Gabriel Smith and Levante Perry, are charged with felonious assault for a shooting police say took place earlier in the day and led up to the shooting of Hernandez. Several of the suspects also face additional weapons charges. A Boardman podiatrist is facing several charges accused of illegally possessing drug documents and trafficking in drugs. A Mahoning County grand jury indicted Dr. James Promersberger on several charges, including illegal possessing of drug documents, trafficking in drugs, Medicaid fraud, and grand theft. In all, he faces 79 charges. 1 person is dead after a car crashed into the Corral Drive-In on Route 18 in Hermitage last night. Police have not released any names. They say the vehicle veered off the road and hit the shop. WRTA is offering free rides on Valentine's Day. The free rides are on all fixed routes as part of Ohio's celebration of public transportation. The Ohio Public Transit Association has designated February 14th as Ohio Loves Transit Day. Officials at the Newton Falls Water Plant are asking residents at this time to conserve water. The request was issued this morning due to technical issues at the plant. In sports, the Wizards beat the Cavs 119-106. Cavs take on the Pacers tonight, 6:30 airtime on the Sports Animal 1390 WNIO. On the ice, Pittsburgh takes on Tampa Bay tonight. The Youngstown Phantoms beat Lincoln 5-2, both again tonight at the Cavelli Center. College basketball, IUPUI beat the YSU women 64-44. The YSU men are at home tonight. They take on Green Bay, 5:40 airtime on News Radio 570 WKBN. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2:30. Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's.
Need a furnace checkup? Call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory authorized Bryant dealer.
Temperatures will only climb to the mid-20s this afternoon. Temperatures will drop back into the mid-teens again tonight. Mainly clear skies expected. Some sunshine to start the day on Sunday, but clouds will increase through the day and snow arrives late day. Highs will climb to the mid-30s. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm Alex George.
Let me ask you a question. How confident are you in your investments? Why not build confidence and wealth with VectorVest? VectorVest will tell you what to buy, and when to sell, and has been doing it for over 30 years. It's the fastest, smartest, easiest stock investing system in America. Try it for 30 days by entering promo code RADIO at VectorVest.com and get free training and support, all for just 99 cents. That's promo code RADIO at VectorVest.com for this limited time offer.
If you're 55 or older, you're probably thinking, what will you do after the kids move out of the house? Have you thought about resort-style living at the lakes at Jefferson in Mercer County? Spacious apartments with large restrooms and private patio areas. As a resident, you'll enjoy elegant dining, a fitness center. If you're intrigued, visit thenugentgroup.com. That's thenugentgroup.com. And check out the lakes at Jefferson Independent Living. Once again, thenugentgroup.com.
Dr. Hannah and the staff at Belmont Eye Clinic want to take this opportunity to salute our veterans. The Belmont Eye Clinic is here to serve you with any of your vision needs. 2 convenient locations in Liberty and Canfield. Thank you, veterans, from the Belmont Eye Clinic.
It's the tech guy, Leo Laporte. Sunday nights at 6 on News Radio 570 WKBN.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is your Saturday show where we get to talk about things that are happening in the tech world, business world, enterprises, and whatnot. Today we have a special guest, Mo Ray. If you've been following this story, I joined him a couple weeks ago, I think it was, and we started talking about some incidents that he was going through. He shared some of the stories with us, and we started talking about it, and we sort of like ran out of time because there's some depth to this that I figured would be valuable to my listeners and your listeners. So welcome, Morris Ray. Thanks for coming.
And I thank you. By the way, just to plug myself, my show is heard Sundays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. right here on 570 WKBN.
There you go.
And I do thank you for inviting me. And we were talking before the break. Well, you want me to tell people what happened, or
yeah,
you want to
bring us up to speed for my audience?
Okay, what happened was something that I'd never heard of before. Of course, there's various types of hacking that is possible out there. But what happened in my case was someone actually took my phone number. They called it porting out, and that's P-O-R-T. I had never heard of this, and so I called Verizon, my company, and they told me I would have to fill out a police report and fax that to them, and then they turned that over to their fraud prevention people, which they did. And then they gave me another phone number, which I gave to a bunch of people, said, oh, well, I guess this is it, because I was told by fraud prevention on a Saturday after they looked at everything, they said, well, we can't get your number back. It's been given to another company. So then after I'd given my number out to multiple people, but by the way, there's more to this. I better tell the whole story. Because we use our phones for so much, in the case of password verification or that kind of thing, what do? They send you a text to your cell phone. But whoever did this, and it was out of Florida, and I've never been to Florida, they eventually found their way into my bank account. And they tested the waters with like $100 out of an ATM, $200. But then they went big and got a $3,000 transaction, $2,000 transaction. And they even got into Google. Now, you probably understand all the particulars of how all this happened, but they got into my Gmail, and I started getting all these bizarre emails from Russia, France, and Germany. And so all this stuff happened at once. And I decided to check my bank account because I was curious. I tried to go online to get into the bank account. It wouldn't let me in. So then I went by the bank, and that's where I found out about all these transactions. But the bottom line is, with the phone company, is that they gave me this number on a Saturday, as I said, and I'm calling everybody the rest of Saturday and Sunday. And then I'm trying to also call my other bank. And they said, well, we can't do this because your caller ID is giving the number you say you don't have anymore. Verizon had returned my number to me, which they told me they couldn't, without notifying me that they had done so. So then I've got to contact everybody and say, oh, by the way, the old number's still good. And I've had to change passwords. I've had to go back and I have a lot of auto pays for my bills and stuff. I had to notify all those people. New a new ATM card. It's just, and as I said, I thought it was resolved, but now I was trying to set up a new auto pay because I'll even tell that part of the story. I ended up with a bill. Verizon dropped the ball here. I'll say this. You guys are good, but do you talk to one another? Apparently, fraud prevention put some kind of hold on my account. But also, when they gave me that new number, and I asked him if that would happen, the guy at a local store, he said, no, they wouldn't do that. But when they gave me the new number, they treated it like it was a brand new phone account. So I got charged for a new phone, new service. And I also I got a charge for the balance of what was owed on the phone that the original number was on. Basically, I had a 1-month phone bill of $547.
Dang.
So that's since been resolved, supposedly. I've had to eliminate my Verizon account, and I'll have to reestablish it because apparently, as I said, I don't know if the left hand is talking to the right hand, but fraud prevention still had some kind of hold on my account. If you ever go through this, though, folks, it is such a pain. You take everything for granted, particularly if you're listening to this show. You're tech savvy, or at least you're trying to get there. But the things you take for granted, the headaches that can be caused by somebody who doesn't even know you, to the credit of my bank, my main bank, Chase, they made me whole within less than 48 hours. I had money back in the account, FDIC, and all that good stuff. But it's just creepy that this is a whole new thing as far as I'm aware of, this thing of using the phone as the entry point into your life. Oh, by the way, I was told this wasn't true identity theft because they didn't set up accounts. This is what the lady told me, was some type of impersonation is what they called it. So basically they were pretending to be me. But it's still scary stuff. And as I ask you on my show, what's the best way to avoid situations like this?
All right, so to give you the history, it used to be that when you bought a phone number from a Verizon, the phone number was purchased and owned by Verizon. At some point down the road, they made it so that number was portable to you, where when you moved, you can release Verizon, bring it with you to whoever you go to. So they were exchanging these phone numbers where it goes out of one system and into another. Okay, so that's where it started, where, give the ability to move that around. Had they not done that, nobody could have moved that on you anyway.
But to that point, I would say also they weren't supposed to be able to do that without my PIN.
That's exactly
which
right.
I had given to no one. So I'm still trying to figure out how they made that happen.
Yeah, and it's probably, since they were brave enough to do it in store, that a rep probably pushed that one through, because on the phone, they wouldn't have the ability, without you providing that number, they wouldn't even talk to you. You know what I mean? So, but second part of that is that because your phones play such a pivotal role, like you said, that they text message you to verify your identity, it put that as a huge a valuable target to set up identity theft, because if they had your phone, they can have those reset messages sent to themselves under a spoofed device. So the first part is, if you do not know or can't remember what your PIN is, call your provider and make sure absolutely that you have one set, and make it as sophisticated as you possibly can, because that's the one way, if they port it away from you, like in Morris's experience, once they have it, I'm really surprised that you were able to get it back, because that took participation then on wherever they transferred it to, then send it back to Verizon. That's a really difficult prospect once somebody has control of it.
And that was the impression I was given by the lady from fraud. But as I said, don't know how the magic happened, but it happened. But I'm not, I hate to sound like I'm griping, but I'm thinking, would you at least tell me when you do something? I mean, I'm glad I got the phone number back, but they didn't notify me. There was no text or anything, no phone call. So I just found out the hard way. But yeah, happy ending. I've got my old number back. But it's just scary stuff. And you think you're doing everything. And I do. And I have changed passwords, but we talked about that. Maybe you can touch on that again.
Sure.
Maybe someplace if you really want to have multiple passwords, how many of those can you keep in your head? There's got to be a nice lockbox, so to speak. Sure. You can put those in, right?
Oh, absolutely. And so I went, after we talked, I went introspective, and I looked at my stuff to say, if that should happen to me tomorrow, how set up am I for that? And I'll tell you, I wasn't as set up as I thought I was. Once I started listing out accounts and listing out, passwords that I used, and listing out the PIN codes, there was a lot of stuff that was not very unique and not really hard to figure out. So it took me evaluating that and how stupid I was when I first set up. Because it's when you set something up new, you're like, I'll just send something simple now because I can't come up with it, and I'll change it later. But you never go around and change it later. So it was basically what I did after I talked to Morris is I took the different credit card accounts, bank accounts, investment accounts, and whatnot, and I listed them one by one. And I tried to log into each one of them and check all of them have sort of like a security tab or a section of it that deals with some kind of security. Most of them, if you visit the security tab and it's not fully set up, it won't let you do anything until you provide today's level of security that they require. It'll nag at you and not let you go and make any other changes. So that's pretty good indication that if you don't have a PIN or you don't have security questions set, so on and so forth. Now, here's some regular standards that you might want to follow. Now, as Morris said, having something besides your brain managing what passwords you use. If you use your brain, chances are you're going to make passwords too easy. If you can remember them, then somebody can figure them out. And, when we have a tendency, we set a password, we use it for decades, right? And we don't change it because that's our go-to. And if you start changing it, then you forget what it was, and then you go do this password dance every time you want to log into a website. So there's two that I like, Dashlane and LastPass. These two programs basically manage the passwords and create the passwords. I don't even know my passwords, okay? And so you want to go through a cycle of maybe every 6 months changing your master password to something that is different from all the other passwords that you've ever changed. And sometimes changing a character, like using an exclamation point for this year and using an asterisk the next year and a $sign the next year is different enough that they don't waste a whole lot of time trying to figure out your password. They try passwords that they hacked from other accounts. So they get Home Depot, they see that your email had a Home Depot account, they take that same username and password and try it on every website that's out there, and they get some hits. If you use the same username and password combination, that might unlock Chase, or that might unlock, Bank of America or something like that. So using different ones at different periods means that if they have one with an exclamation point, they're not going to go through the symbols to see that you changed it to something else. That it's just going to be unsuccessful, and they're going to move on to the other people. And if you allow Dashlane or LastPass to make up your password, they're going to make up a really super sophisticated long password that nobody's going to be able to hack. Okay, and especially if you don't even know it, you're not going to write that sucker down. So you're bought into that system, and it really is a good system.
But okay, so you go to Dashlane and LastPass. I mean, well, what's to say that they can't be hacked or something?
They could. It very well could. And the premises of both of those websites, I trust how they're doing it. I mean, there's always going to be a weak link where their database isn't encrypted or somebody gets in. They're a target there. But I think they have a better chance of doing the job protecting it better than me protecting my own stuff, because that's their whole business. You know what I mean?
Yes. And we talked also about these things like LifeLock and that kind of thing. Worth it?
I'm going to look up over this next break. I'm going to look up to see how far they go in the mitigation part, because I know that they'll make phone calls on your behalf. I know that they'll run credit checks on your behalf. But I'm wondering if, like, the Verizon thing happened, and let's just say Verizon wasn't willing to take away the $500 new connection bill. How much LifeLock would absorb under those, those incidents that are connected to that? If they're insurance, then it might be worth it just for that aspect of it. Because think about it. What if you'd had to pay that $600 bill?
I think I've been going to another phone company.
No doubt.
But, this is it's just fascinating, though. We've become so attached to these phones, and they're more than phones, of course. Your life is in your hand, and I tell people that, and they don't think about it sometimes. But okay, so that's a good tip. Oh, also, you mentioned the credit bureaus. I did notify the credit bureaus, and the great thing is now they work hand in hand. I really notified Experian, I believe it is, first, and then I got corresponding letters from Equifax and
TransUnion.
TransUnion, right. So now for at least a year, there's a security freeze on my account. I mean, you can take it a step further, but the bottom line is now they'll be looking for any suspicious activity. And, there's just so many threads that could be pulled here? I mean, I think I've covered everything, and then oh, wait a minute, I've got auto pay over there I need to take care of, or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, and so now do you have a sort of an inventory of your accounts now that you've gone through this? You have a pretty good handle on what's out there?
Yes. I'm trying to think. Ironically, I do have to change one more. But yes, now I know exactly what I'm dealing with, large and small. And it is, it's just, okay, but once more, going back to these services you mentioned, what was that?
LastPass and Dashlane.
Okay. Where are those held? I mean, if I have a situation where maybe I can't get into my Google, my Google Chrome or whatever.
So you can walk up to a computer and you can install the add-in that is LastPass. You provide your username and your password, and then it opens like a website, like a vault with all of your passwords. So if you wanted to then take a computer you trust and elevate it to your new manager, you can do that.
Okay.
All right. We're going to take a break, come back, take some more calls, and talk to Morris here, 330-729-9977. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
From America's best-selling automobile to the world's toughest trucks, there's a reason why customers are driving from Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
When's the last time you checked your credit score? Those 3-digit scores can have a huge impact on your financial life. Credit Karma can help you with free scores, free reports, and free monitoring. Credit Karma also gives you the tips, tools, and advice you need to understand your credit and how to improve it. You can even spot potential errors on your credit report. That can mean better interest rates on loans and credit cards, which can save you thousands of dollars in the long run. Signing up is completely free, no credit card needed. Visit creditkarma.com or download the Credit Karma app now.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251.
Save gas and wear and tear on your vehicle when you let the Newcastle Transit Authority take you where you want to go. Take the bus to work, school, doctor's appointments, or go shopping. With stops throughout Lawrence County and weekday service to Pittsburgh, it's perfect for those of you who drive it every day, saving yourself gas money and wear and tear on your vehicle. Public transportation just makes sense. Why drive when you can relax and ride? For more information or for route schedules, log on to newcastletransit.org. The Newcastle Transit Authority, going your way.
Ready to create your own income with your own home-based business where there's no such thing as getting laid off? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. GoHereNext.com. Have you ever thought about saying goodbye to your job? Just walking into your boss and saying, I quit. And how would you like to commute to work without ever leaving your home? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Get the facts now. GoHereNext.com.
What's more important than the safety and security of your family, your home, or your business? Holland Alarm Company has been protecting our valley for nearly 50 years with burglar and fire protection, video surveillance, personal emergency alert, card access, intercoms, and more. Holland Alarm Company is family-owned and operated with local monitoring and no long-term contracts for your convenience, safety, and peace of mind. Meet the pros against cons at HollandAlarm.com. HollandAlarm.com. They never sleep, so you can.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We're here with Morris Ray. We're talking about some porting, spoofing, scamming, that kind of stuff. Morris is sharing his story. We have some calls out there, so I'm going to take these calls, and if you have some questions for Morris or you want to chime in on the conversation, feel free. Let's go. Irvin is first on the lines. Irvin, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hello. I wanted to mention to you about you mentioned about the hacking before the Casey Malone had got hacked some years ago. They had the afternoon program, her and Ron Verb.
Yeah.
So you know how long ago that was.
Oh yeah.
Because I watch a TV show every once in a while. But anyway, I wanted to mention that. I wanted to mention this too, that the computer's working fine. You did some work for me about 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. Working fine.
Awesome.
Now,
Good to hear.
One more quick thing.
Sure.
Oh, was you saying something?
No, go ahead.
I wanted to say this. How can you get off this phone, the phone that I'm on now? I get this buzzing, and I get like 112, 164 messages on here. And I don't know who in the heck would be sending me messages. I don't think I know that many people that want to send me a message.
All
My
right.
daughter tried to tell me something, but she's in Seattle, and she's a computer nerd, but I couldn't get with what she was saying. She was trying to tell me about press 1 and press reject and press this, and I didn't get with it. Do you have any solution to something like that?
Yeah, thanks for a call, Irvin. Appreciate it. And basically what you want to do is that in Ohio, we still have, so we have the do not call list. And it does help a lot for unsolicited calls. You have to go to, I believe it's at the FTC website. You have to register your phone number, and you have to do it every single year. So if you've done it in the past, you're going to have to do it again. And so any new solicitations that come in, they'll have to conform to the law that says they're not allowed to call you. They're not allowed to use that number. It's a private call. Now, you also want to sort of do prevent on it, where you don't want to give the number out as part of marketing. You don't want to put it on the business cards you put in the fishbowl at restaurants, stuff like that. If you can run that kind of prevent, not give that number out, it'll help cut down on those as well. They have these third-party rules where they can share, especially with political campaigns and whatnot. They allow to share those addresses to send campaign notifications out to you. So if you've given to a campaign, your number probably gets circulated a whole lot. So my advice again would be to maybe have like a Google Voice number that you give out for these marketing solicitations, not your primary phone, because once they start coming, it's extremely difficult to notify enough of them. I have a service that I use on mine called NoMoRobo, okay? And this is basically, they have a national database of origins of solicitation calls, and this app will make it so my phone doesn't ring or ding. It'll just kind of get rid of it. If it's on the list, it's an offender, and the call won't come into my phone at all. So where I might be getting 50 or 60 of these calls per month, I don't ever see any of them because that database is taking care of those messages.
I just want to say, though,
Yeah.
interesting, and I won't say I was bashing, but I had some bad things to say about Verizon. But a good thing they do have is they've got a filter for that kind of thing. If it'll tell you if it's a robocall, it will tell you, it's like it's got a little meter and it comes up and it just tells you how likely this is to be something you probably are not interested in. So to their credit, I do appreciate that. And you're right about, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you ever heard my show, sometimes I get a little political, and yeah, and maybe that's why I've been getting a lot of calls from D.C. and places like that. I don't even pick up anymore because it's just like, you're right. They must have handed the list out, and I'm getting all this garbage that I'm not interested in. Yes, I do give to who I want to give to when I want to, but I don't need to be harassed constantly.
Yeah, and you can't do it anonymously. You can't give a campaign donation, so you have to give up your number, and then now you're in that system. So
Yes.
it's tough. But Verizon is pretty accurate on their predictions as far as what is constituting spam incoming. All right, so we're going to be right back. We're going to stick here with May. We got a couple more calls that lined up, so if you have questions for May, get on the line, 330-729-9977, or if you have any experience with the spoofing, scamming, or anything else we're talking about here. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
There's no room for quitters on a job site. My Masterforce tools deliver power, performance, and durability that doesn't quit. Tools like my 20-volt cordless hammer drill. The brushless motor technology in that drill gives me up to 30% more power, and 1.5 times the battery life. Professionals need tools they can rely on. Masterforce tools. Available at Menards.
Save 11% on everything now at Menards. Good through February 9th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. The State Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of a crash that killed 2 people early this morning on I-80 westbound near the Braceville-Robinson Bridge. 2 vehicles were involved in the crash. The incident happened just before 2 a.m. this morning. Alcohol is believed to be a factor. 1 person is dead after a car crashed into the Corral Drive-In on Route 18 in Hermitage last night. Police have not released any names. They say the vehicle veered off the road and hit the shop. Youngstown police are looking for a man they say is responsible for shooting a woman several times on the west side of Youngstown early yesterday morning. 29-year-old Kyle Rice is wanted on a warrant for attempted murder. The incident happened at about 1 a.m. on Oregon Avenue Friday morning. Police are not releasing the name of the victim. WRTA is offering free rides on Valentine's Day. The free rides are on all fixed routes as part of Ohio's celebration of public transportation. The Ohio Public Transit Association has designated February 14th as Ohio Loves Transit Day. Officials at the Newton Falls Water Plant are asking residents at this time to conserve water. The request was issued this morning due to technical issues at the plant. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 3. For your home or business, call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory-authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Temperatures will only climb to the mid-20s this afternoon. Temperatures will drop back into the mid-teens again tonight. Mainly clear skies expected. Some sunshine to start the day on Sunday, but clouds will increase through the day and snow arrives late day. Highs will climb to the mid-30s. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm Alex George.
The Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber proudly presents the Valley Health and Wellness Expo at Covelli Center, Saturday, March 30th. Would your group or business like to be part of this incredible event? Just visit valleyhealthandwellnessexpo.com or contact the Regional Chamber, 330-744-2131. That's 744-2131. The Valley Health and Wellness Expo returning March 30th in partnership with Mercy Health, One Health Ohio, Southwoods Health, Stewart Healthcare System, and iHeartMedia Youngstown.
Hi, this is Eric Clark at Fairway Ford in Canfield. Once again, Fairway Ford is the #1 F-150 dealer in the entire region, including Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, with the best inventory of F-150s available. Crew cabs, super cabs, and regular cabs. We're blowing out the 18s. They have to go. Save up to $15,000 on 18 Ford F-150s, and there's also 0% financing available. Plus, we have a huge selection of 19 F-150s. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
If you're determined to make 2019 the year you finally start a business or secure your family's future, you need to check out LegalZoom.com. From wills and trusts to LLCs and trademarks, contract reviews, and more, LegalZoom.com has helped millions of people like you take care of those responsibilities. And the best part is, well, LegalZoom.com is not a law firm. You don't get charged those high hourly rates. So make a difference in your life this year. Just visit LegalZoom.com right now, and for special savings, enter my last name Hannity in the referral box when you check out.
Are you dreaming of something greater? A college degree, job skills, a rewarding career? The Ohio Army National Guard can help you get the education you need to land the career you've always wanted. The Ohio National Guard Scholarship Program could pay 100% of your college tuition. You're eligible for the scholarship as soon as you enlist. Learn more about the many benefits that come with serving in the Ohio Army National Guard. Visit NationalGuard.com today. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's, January.
Shutdown.
WKBN.
Brexit.
State of the Union.
Roger Stone.
BuzzFeed. Venezuela. Medicare for all.
I'm Cory Booker.
To be president.
February.
Below zero temperatures.
Happens here.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We're sitting here with Morris Ray. We're talking about a recent incident he had with a couple of scammers went crazy with porting his number over and ruining a couple of weekends, I'm sure, a couple of evenings, I'm sure, right? So we got some calls lined up there. I'm going to just go right to them if you're okay with that. 330-729-9977. Let's go to Carmen next. Carmen, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yeah, I just want to say, Morris, I feel sorry for you. Nobody should have to go through that. I mean, there's just some real low-life scumbags in the world.
Well, we agree on that, sir. And you know what? It's just so weird that I've never even set foot in the state of Florida, and all this transpired in Florida somehow. But of course, it is a World Wide Web, so they can screw you from anywhere. To be blunt about it.
It shouldn't happen to anybody. I don't listen to your show because I don't agree with your politics, but it still shouldn't have to happen to anybody. I wanted to know from Joe. I think it was Philadelphia's planning on not using cash anymore. You'd have to use your like a smartphone to pay. How do you feel about that?
It's a worthwhile experiment. I mean, I think that there's the technology is there where it could be pulled off. The problem is that if you don't have unified adoption, it gets really crazy because you'll have part of the population who are just alienated from commerce, and you really don't want that to happen. I have a feeling it's going to
might not have the technology in your phone. You might not have your bank set up to deduct the money, and I just see headaches with that and all of this autonomous stuff. I don't think we're ready for it. How do you feel about it? I'm getting a lot of things like from Facebook. They want two methods of proving who I am. They want my phone number, and not only Facebook, other ones. Besides your password, they want a second method of verification. I mean, you think that's a good idea?
It is, and they're real limited on how they can prove individuals are not, meddling like we saw, around the election time. And so with the limitations, I mean, it's tough because they want to grow their usership. And at the same time, they don't want to be polluted with a bunch of fake accounts that, wreak havoc. I mean, I probably receive maybe 10 or 15 spam friend requests on Facebook, and I got to dig through to see if they're a real person or it's someone who just wants to send me porn links or stuff like that.
Yeah, I know a lot of my relatives have said don't re-ask to be my friend because they were hacked a couple times.
Yep, for sure.
And they don't want to go through that. Okay, thank you. Good show again.
Thank you, Carmen. Appreciate you being out there.
Yeah, can I ask a question? They're talking about that authentication. One thing that I see that a lot of the sites offer or different services is the fingerprint. I'm not trying to be paranoid here, but I'm always worried in the world of hacking if they can, if you're using that as an identifier, what's to say they couldn't take that fingerprint and use it? Hack your fingerprint.
Well, here's my, and I don't know how they do it, but here's what I think is happening there. Your phone is actually taking a picture of your fingerprint and translating it to some kind of numerics, and then they're using the numerics to qualify you, not necessarily the picture of your fingerprint.
Okay.
If that's happening, you're a little protected because if someone gets your numerics, it doesn't matter. They can just get to your phone, and nobody would actually do that. And then that means that they can't replicate your fingerprint based on reverse engineering the numerics.
Yes, because that's a little spooky.
Yeah, I'll look into it, but I wouldn't see that they would do something stupid like take a picture of fingerprint and start putting that into your profiles. That would be ridiculous. All right, 330-729-9977. Let's go to Tim next. Tim, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can we help you?
Hey, I'm actually a computer expert. I'm calling in to try to help Morris out here, but I got a list of things here. I know you said LastPass and stuff, but I use RoboForm and have been using it for a long time. They actually have a feature. I haven't really looked at LastPass and stuff, but RoboForm has a feature where it actually detects your weak and reused passwords and has a thing that lets you redo those. In terms of Morris, how it works, all your data is encrypted with 256-bit encryption, and it's based on the password with RoboForm that you use. So they only store the encrypted data on their database. So even if someone hacks in, unless they got your password, they can't decrypt that password, which is really great.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah, the next thing we use is there is a thing with Google. If you have like a Google Gmail account, there's a Google Authenticator. So instead of you getting a text message for someone to hack into your email, like anytime a new device tries to get into my email, it comes through this Google Authenticator, and I have to approve it on that or one of my other devices. So I have 3 or 4 devices that have that on there, but it's a good thing to set up. And then it's not just by your phone number because it's a classic scam. They ported your phone number out, and that's like the keys to the kingdom. If you have this authenticator, you can only put that on another device that once you get authenticated, that you authenticated from another one of your devices.
I certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, a couple other things you want to check about now that may not show up. File with the IRS is a fraud thing. There's a big thing where they file taxes as you and say that they get a big refund. And when you go to file your taxes, you might find that someone else had already filed as you now that you've been, like I call, a victim of identity theft. And then the other thing that people don't really look at, if you have a 401k or an IRA or anything like that, you need to go look at those things also, because that's another thing that they go in and try to hack you in on and stuff like that.
Well, by the way, I did do that because that was after the bank situation. I said, okay, my gosh, could they get into the 401k as well? But that is good. So, but I thank you for your helpful hints.
Yeah, and the last thing I would definitely recommend, instead of just that credit monitoring, I would freeze your credit, and I would have it frozen, and I think you could have up to like a 20-digit password. And if you use one of these programs like a RoboForm, it'll randomly generate a 20-digit password. And as a matter of fact, like I'm on T-Mobile, it's a pain to talk to them, but I do have a 20-digit PIN number on my account that someone can't port my number out. And when I need it, I go into that RoboForm and I just read them the number out of there, because RoboForm stores passwords. It stores all my credit cards. It stores what's called safe notes, so you can just have like a note, and it's all encrypted. So unless someone's really good at guessing my very long one password that I remember for everything, no one's going to get into my stuff. So, again, I hate that it happened to you, but, those are the tricks that I know of out there. So,
all right, Tim, thank you so much for the phone call. Appreciate
Thanks,
you participating. And yeah, RoboForms. That's actually, there's a lot of my my commercial customers that use RoboForms. It's really good. I'm wondering what the pricing is on that. I remember it not being super cheap, but it does a really good job. It's more than just password management, like you said. It's credit cards and whatnot.
Do you have a ballpark when you say not super cheap?
I'm looking right now to see. I'm on their page. I want to see what it is in comparison, because I think. Well, anyway, and let me take and explain that. No, it's like 1 year for $30. It's not expensive at all. So individuals are $30.
That's priceless.
Heck yeah! All right. For commercial ones, though, it's like $1,200 a year. So individuals, it's great.
Okay.
All right. So this is how this works. And so when you encrypt data, when you have your stuff stored, okay. So let's just say you're using like an encrypted VPN tunnel. When your data is being transferred, it's basically scrambling the information and stored in its scrambled form. And then when you retrieve it, it unscrambles it and delivers it back to you. So as long as where you store your stuff, it's in its scrambled form, even if they looked at your password in the database, they couldn't see it. Okay? So that's what gives you, if any of these services say that they're 256-bit encryption or something like that, that is really sophisticated, high-grade levels of encryption that are almost impossible to be able to crack. So,
well, that sounds like a winner.
There you go. All right, more phone calls here, 330-729-9977. Let's go to Ray next. Ray, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hello, gentlemen. Hi, Morris. Hi,
Hello.
Joe.
Hey, Ray.
Let me ask you a question. On Morris, did they ever find a break-in point for you, or are they still looking?
Actually, it's still a question mark to me. I mean, and by the way, it occurred to me that I also had a situation with PayPal, which I'm not sure if this could be related to this or not. I had a PayPal situation maybe a month before this happened, where I was alerted that I had a weakness in my PayPal account, and I used to just leave it on all the time. Now I don't do that. I have to resubmit every time. But no, Ray, I couldn't tell you exactly where this happened. I worry about it. I mean, I was thinking, because I do a political talk show, it could have been random, but sometimes I wonder, was this a malicious act? Was this somebody trying to induce a little pain, which, by the way, mission accomplished. But
pain felt.
Yeah, you got. I wish I did know, but apparently, as far as what Verizon can tell me, they didn't seem to know how this took place, particularly since they didn't have the PIN. Google you can't get a human being at Google.
No.
That's just ridiculous. So however this happened, it's still a mystery to me. But as I said, I do applaud the bank and the fact that we have FDIC insurance, and they were very quick to make things right again. I have, as I've said, I think Verizon needs to make sure they're speaking to each other about this, so their local people don't tell you one thing when the guy on the 800 number is telling you everything's cool. But no,
yes.
Sorry. Go ahead, though.
If you get an opportunity, later on, if you ever find that might be interesting information. For Joe, can this happen because of like friends or contacts, or does it affect friends and contacts? Because I have a contact that this happened to, and it makes me worried about it.
Yeah, it gets really mobile because it uses email and messaging and text messaging to travel. And so if somebody that you send email to gets infected or gets hit with one of these things, it usually uses, the stuff that's sitting in its inbox or its sent box to then propagate itself to other people. So you might, have an email that looks legitimate coming from someone that and it's like, hey, here's an invoice attached, and you're used to getting invoices, and all of a sudden, you've given up some information. So like Morris said, though, it could be, if you just in a database that got hacked, they don't even necessarily have to know you personally to be attacking you. So it could come either way.
Okay, last question, Joe.
Sure.
When you look on Twitter and stuff like that, and you look at like a website that somebody suggested on Twitter, I have a Google phone, and every now and then I get this thing, winner. You just won $1,000 thing at here, or a $500 thing there. It's like a pop-up ad. Is that like malicious thing? I mean, I just X out of everything and start over and don't go back to the web page.
And by the way, for my experience, it's usually an Amazon gift card. That's their hook. I usually avoid them too, by the way.
Yep. And so I consider those poisoned ad networks. So if a website that you go to has we'll say that they take third-party ads and display them on the page that you're looking at, the people who put those ads there, it's like syndicated, where it comes from another source. So they can slip every once in a while an ad in there that has enough code to make one of these pop-ups happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have something on your machine that's malicious. It could be just that code was slipped by their whatever prevents that stuff from happening. Usually doesn't last long, where those ads get taken out of the ad network, but another one cycles through before long. So you can identify those pretty easy. Try not to click on anything. I mean, they're just really good about being sneaky about that, but really there's nothing going to prevent those from happening.
Okay, thank you very much, guys.
You're right. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it. All right. And we have Craig next. Let's go to Craig. Craig, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can we help you?
It's Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Similar frustration. My PST file, my Microsoft Outlook got corrupted, so I had to rebuild it, restore it. So, that takes a while, and the first couple times it didn't work. We used a third-party software piece to get it rebuilt. So I got it rebuilt and restored, and then you got to go through all your contacts and make sure they're all in the right categories, and the calendar with, you have different colors for different events, and that all has to be fixed. But now I still have a problem. My problem is I can't edit the notes field in a contact. So I have Microsoft Outlook 2016, and I can't edit them. If I add a new contact, I can add notes into the notes field. Same thing with the calendar. If I add a new calendar event, I can add notes into the notes field, but I can't edit existing ones. The text is still there, but I can't do any editing. And I've tried to Google and search for that, contact field is locked and stuff like that. And I can't figure it out. Do you have any idea what I might be able to try?
This might be one of those ones where you need someone with a whole lot of expertise in Outlook. What I would probably do is, after this thing gets rebuilt, see if you can do some kind of backup and create, now that you've got one that's in semi-working condition, you might be able to take the one that's working now and create another one and import your stuff from the old one to the new one. It'll recreate those records and maybe make them editable in the second version. But I have a feeling that it's going to take someone with a way more expertise than I have.
Yeah, because even if you go into the context field and you can list all the fields, whether it's name, first name, last name, whatever,
right?
And you can right-click on them and check on properties. It doesn't allow you to change the properties. It just allows you to see what it is, whether it's text or integer or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, like I said, if you could take that record in its readable form and copy it to a new database, a new PST, it might be, the text copies over and now the record becomes readable. That's what I would try first. If that doesn't work, I would probably, bite the bullet and put a ticket into Microsoft and see if they can field it out.
Well, yeah, that's the other problem. You can't talk to Microsoft, you can't talk to Google, you can't talk to any of these guys, all these multi-billion-dollar companies, and you can't talk to anybody.
I hear you.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it is too.
Yeah, it's a joke. Even if you send an email complaining about it, you think they reply? No, they don't reply.
All right, Craig, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Sorry I couldn't help you out. And if anybody, if you do have to call Microsoft, you can prepay for tech support with Microsoft, and it's not a cheap thing. Maybe in the years that we've done this, we've had to pay for maybe 2 or 3 calls to Microsoft, and they'll ding you for about $300 per hour. And they've always been able to solve it, but $300 an hour, from an engineer.
For the average person, though, that's absurd.
Yep, absolutely. So, but there is ways. But we have a place like Experts Exchange that will allow you to take questions like that and be able to put them in front of people who have, credentials in these kind of equipment. So Experts Exchange, check that out. All right, we're going to take a break here. We have another phone call coming up after the break. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? You feel like there's no way out? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Get off the debt treadmill and stop the harassment. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Call now at 866-844-7344 for free information. For about 10 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Get off the endless cycle without having to declare bankruptcy. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 866-844-7344. That's 866-844-7344.
Let me ask you a question. How confident are you in your investments? Why not build confidence and wealth with VectorVest? VectorVest will tell you what to buy, and when to sell, and has been doing it for over 30 years. It's the fastest, smartest, easiest stock investing system in America. Try it for 30 days by entering promo code RADIO at VectorVest.com and get free training and support, all for just 99 cents. That's promo code RADIO at VectorVest.com for this limited time offer.
From America's best-selling automobile to the world's toughest trucks, there's a reason why customers are driving from Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
Hi everybody, Carl Clay, President of the Youngstown Dart Association, here to talk to you about the 31st Annual Youngstown Dart Frank Perico Memorial Charity Open, Friday, February 8th through Sunday, February 10th. We're at a new location at Doubletree downtown. We also have a new charity this year, the Autism Society of Mahoning Valley. Questions, you can call me, Carl Clay, 330-623-1048, or you can visit our website, youngstowndart.org, for any information on the sponsorship of the boards.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Burgundy.
Check. Is this on?
Episode 1 of the Ron Burgundy podcast is available to download or play right now on iHeartRadio.
I want to be upfront with you. We're going to make some mistakes along the way.
Open the free iHeartRadio app and listen or download for later.
We can edit that out, right?
Lots of hard-hitting questions.
If a woman dumps you, can you have her arrested?
And lots of laughs. The Ron Burgundy Podcast. Listen to episode 1 right now. Your music, your stations, your podcasts, always free.
iHeartRadio.
Tomorrow morning, 8:30, you'll want to be here if you suffer from arthritis, back pain, knee pain, bursitis, or fibromyalgia. Learn how to target this pain in just 15 minutes. Tomorrow morning, 8:30, 570 WKBN.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and we're here with Morris Ray today. We were talking about the stuff that he hit. He is my favorite talk show host from that side. I'll say.
Okay.
What do you say? You say it's
I'm
from
the other side of talk radio.
That is the real estate that Mo Ray occupies. All right, we're going to take this phone call. Nate's on the line. We're going to try to squeeze this in at the last couple minutes here. Nate, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can we help you?
Hey, how you doing? Real quick, I've got two very quick questions.
Sure.
One has to do with laptop batteries. I hear you talking about keeping them charged only up to 80 or 90% and never letting them get below 30%. Issue is I've got mine plugged in all the time. Is there a setting on a computer, number one, to say, hey, stop charging at 80% and charging it at 30 so that I can save the battery life? And the second question is unrelated, but when it comes to using an animated type of program, does a video card help with the speed? Because it's so sluggish, it hardly renders. Those are the two questions. I know they're unrelated, but I wanted to get them in.
Sure. Okay, so your first one, batteries, lithium-ion especially, they've come a long way in having computers be able to manage them, so you don't really have to do a bunch of crazy stuff as far as 80%, 30% like you do with a car, electric vehicle. Life-wise, they don't last beyond 5 years even if you treat it perfectly, so it's usually not worth the effort to do anything special with it. Just kind of know that your horizon's 5 years. When you get to the point where it discharges and won't last, more than 30 minutes, then it's time to get a new battery. Thankfully, those batteries have come down in price where you're probably going to pay $75 for a replacement battery. So that's your first question. Now, as far as animations go, video cards recommended when you're doing lots of rendering. So if you have geometry calculations that's going on, video cards do a lot better job with doing those kind of calculations. If you're doing flat, non-3D, non-geometrical, you can get away with a regular video card. If the project that you're working on is immense, the extra video memory will help. So it's not necessarily that it has to process a whole bunch of math, but it has to store a bunch of, a bunch of project data. So really, usually people who do that kind of work, they do go for an upper end video card, but it's not totally required.
Okay, and is that same like with a laptop? Can you transfer some of your memory over to a video memory? Because there's not really a way to put in a laptop video card.
You kind of have to buy it with one already in mind. The one that I do, the video production here, it's not all that expensive. You just have to make sure that it's not like you have the cards that are made for business operations versus graphics. So if it puts itself as a video player or a gaming machine or something like that, chances are it's got a video card integrated that's capable of doing those kind of calculations.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate your show.
Yeah, thank you very much for being out there. Appreciate it. Anything else that you have to add about your experience that you think that you want to, cautionary tale warnings?
No, I would just say, use some of these services that Joe has talked about as far as encryption and changing the passwords and all that, and check your stuff regularly. I could have just gone on and got caught up in something else and not even looked at the bank. I'm glad I went to the bank. I'm glad I tried to check my bank account the very next day, because it would be very embarrassing at the very least. Beyond embarrassing, they've taken your money, but you're out somewhere and you think, I got all this money in the bank, and
decline.
Yeah, they left 3 cents. That was nice of them. Yeah.
Go ahead and plug your show here while we're running out of time. Tell us where we can find you.
You can check us out on Sunday mornings right here, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on News Radio 570 WKBN. And by the way, had a personal experience with your service at Youngstown Computer. Great job, great people. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you much. See you guys next week. You've listened to the Youngstown Computer Show.